All right, good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to more Super Metroid Randomizer action. This is a semi-final match between Osse and Sloaters. My name is Tracy, and with me today is Derp. How you doing, Derp?
I don't know. Can you really say that this is airing in the evening? I don't know.
Well, it's afternoon right now. I don't know when this is actually going to air. Probably in the wee hours of the morning. But yesterday I watched back the Zost Astor race. We had pre-recorded, and there were 2,000 people watching. So I'm hoping we get another good showing of viewers at whatever time that this ends up airing. So whatever time of day it is for y'all, welcome, and should be good. We have a semifinal match. We have Osse versus Sloaters, two longtime randomizer runners. Sloaters has kind of done this from the beginning of it. It was in the 2017 tournament. Osse started with the 2018 Rando League, and also does a lot of SMZ3. He's actually probably the best in the world at SMZ3, and actually kind of comes from that direction. So, very interesting to see how this race will go.
Yeah, also a very talented runner, both in randomizer and non-randomizer. He has a very good 90% time as well, considering how long he's been running the category or running vanilla SM in general.
Yep. Yeah, and he even
That's
got I think he's
impressive.
the only other person in Zenny that has a sub one RBO time. So, some very impressive stuff from Osse. Sloaters, I mean, he does every category. He does every route. Whatever you need. Super versatile. Very good randomizer. He won the league in season 1. So it's a very titanic matchup here.
Yeah, we've got two runners that are both very good at randomizer and very good at execution. So we're going to be seeing a lot of high level gameplay on both fronts, hopefully, as we get a vanilla morph at Morph Ball.
Yeah, and of course, this is what you want to see in a semifinal match. So really glad this worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we know who they're playing against in the
Not
finals
yet.
yet?
So, Azure beat Zost in an epic matchup last night, but he still has to play Kip, which is a rematch of the 2019 Rando League final. So that should be another really good race. So we have 4 absolute top runners of Randomizer, and and these two, the winner will play the winner of that one. Will probably be played tomorrow. Has not been scheduled yet.
So at the beta missiles, I don't know if these are called beta missiles, but either way, they found space jump and power
Yep.
bombs. So
Yep, my favorite item, the space jump. We got some power bombs, so that's nice. We don't have to worry about power bombs. See if either one chooses to check the item to the left here. Sloater's just going to go for it. Osse just going to head on up. He's hoping for a super missile.
with
I'll get
this
the power bomb.
combination, sorry,
Go
I'll
ahead.
let you go. Oh, so with this combination of items, this is definitely prime position for either of the runners to go early ship with the CFB route. Looks like neither one is going to do it though. They're still looking for a super missile pack. A lot of power bombs so far though.
Has 3 power bomb packs already.
Yeah, nice to have a lot of power bombs early. It means there's less of a risk of some potential issues running out of power bombs when you don't have vanilla bombs, but not exactly what you want to see either. But we will see where the first super missile pack is. There's still plenty of locations, and I believe Gauntlet is open now, so it is possible that the first super missiles are in Gauntlet, I believe.
Yeah, it's possible, but just a reminder, since the Dash Randomizer doesn't quite place items in the same way as those of you that might be familiar with the Varia Randomizer. All it does is guarantees that the minor items you need will be available. It doesn't place them in any kind of logical format. The Varia tends to do a thing where it says, okay, this is your first power bomb pack, this is your first super pack, and none other will be before it. So pretty rare when we get in a search for those. Although we did get a funny search for power bombs in game 2 last night. As it turns out, there was power bombs at 230 missiles that both runners skipped.
Yeah, speaking of which, both runners skipping 230 missiles in this seed, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt either of them. I wonder if they're going to go to Gauntlet, though. It's it is open to them with the amount of power bombs they've gotten. Looks like Osse's gonna skip it.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Gauntlet is slow with power bombs. I mean, it's not too bad with power bombs and space jump, but it's slow. It's not super safe with just that reserve tank. I think it maybe if it had an E tank, might be a little bit better. We do see a wave beam over here at Terminator, so that's a very nice pickup.
Yeah, I definitely think it's not super slow with the space jump.
Yeah, it definitely speeds it up.
It is still very slow bombing or even power bombing all the blocks compared to later where you potentially have access to something like speed booster or screw attack in order to make the rooms much quicker. But either way, it is more items that they aren't checking that could potentially be a super missile.
Okay, so we should also talk a little bit about the dash randomizer. The big changes between this and the regular randomizer, we do have a kind of a baby charge beam, a starter charge beam. It does the same damage as the regular beam, but it does damage to bosses. So essentially a third of the damage of what you would normally get with the charge beam. The other big change is that the gravity suit now protects half of your environmental protection. What that means, it means a little bit more than just the heat protection, because it does mean that spikes are half protection on the gravity, half protection on the Varia. So a full 3/4 if you have both. But also the big thing, of course, is the heated rooms where you take your damage a lot slower. And we really saw that to great effect last night in the Azure Zost race, where they both did lower north with gravity suit. And for those of you that may have watched that, I actually went back into the seed, and turns out Very was at Shaktul. So, yeah, that would not have been a winning play to go after Varia. So very good they did that. In the meantime, we get a reserve tank. That's our second reserve tank. Oof.
Yeah, I don't think did either runner pick it up.
No, Sloaters is going to grab it. Osse just said nope. Hence the term nope tank.
Definitely do not blame him. I'm kind of surprised Osse's picking up this power bomb pack here, but it does give him enough power bombs to crystal flash potentially. And
yeah, Sloaters picking
actually
up
also
well.
picking it up.
I like the ammo pickups, especially in Dash. We talked a lot about this yesterday. The fact that gravity suit makes lower Norfair easier doesn't make it free, but it makes it easier. And the top runners, they'll know how to deal with that. Getting those extra ammo early to get a nice plasma beam. Getting that extra ammo early so they can kind of keep an eye on, am I going to have enough for that crystal flash? How many crystal flashes do I have? Can I go down to lower Norfair maybe with a lower E-tank, maybe with a lesser loadout if I have those extra crystal flashes?
Yeah, Sloaters is definitely checking a lot more of these minor items than Osse is. Up to 25 power bombs now. So many power bombs early on. A little bit crazy.
That's a lot of power bombs.
But with Wave Plasma and the starter charge, they actually have a pretty decent way to kill all of the bosses. That would be, I believe, a 72 shot.
That is
Mother
correct.
Brain and Ridley. So it's definitely within the comfort zone of both of these runners, who are both very experienced at running new routes. So
yeah, both can run low percent ice, which is a 200 shot Ridley fight and Mother Brain fight. Well, I mean, not counting ammo. So 72 is nothing compared to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So they at least have a comfortable way to finish the game. They, of course, need a few more items in order to actually get there. But in terms of weaponry, they're almost all set. And Sloater's finally going to be skipping a power bomb pack, seeing another one at the big pink missile. And another one at charge missile. So that's 35 early power bombs already. It's kind of crazy how this distribution has gone. Unfortunately, we cannot check Waterway without Speed Booster. Although, they've got enough power bombs to Elevator Crystal Flash. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, Cross Product's not playing, so we're not going to see that. Although Osse's will also break out some of the stranger tricks once in a while, and Sloaters can do some of these things too, but I don't see it.
So what I'm actually interested to see, obviously if they decide to go up or down, since they have pretty easy access to wreck ship with the space jump, but also if they actually bother to check X-ray, because even with space jump, it does take a while to go get. Looks like Osse's going to do it. But Sloaters has checked
Yeah,
a lot of minor items and got a lot of power bombs. So if he might
we
be
have.
thinking that Aussie didn't pick
Yeah,
up
go
all
ahead.
those items, so he might want to potentially skip that item and risk it being nothing good. We'll see what he does though.
Yeah, also doing a very nice job in the pre-X-ray room. That is actually still very dangerous with space jump because you can drop that space. Oh my god, another reserve tank. Ossie's like, no.
I don't think he wanted to pick
I
it
don't
up.
think he meant to pick it up, but he's got one, so he's got it. Sloater's also gonna run over here, but those spikes still do the 60 damage, and if you drop your space jump and you fall down there, especially with that high jump, it can be very dangerous to try and get back up.
I'm gonna see a bit of a midair high five here. As Aussie maybe warning Sloaters to turn back. It's nothing good.
Yeah, exactly. Sloaters does turn back, does not want another reserve tank. And 1 or 2 reserves is nice, but 3 or 4 is excessive.
Okay,
I shouldn't say nice. I mean, I don't mind 1 or 2 reserves, but 3 or 4 is excessive.
Aussie's actually, after checking X-ray, he's just gonna go straight up to the ship, it looks like, as he gets a nice red tower.
Sloaters looks like he's going down. Oh, good. We get a little route divergence.
We'll see how this goes. There aren't too many items that the runners need to finish the game with this beam combo and the starter charge.
Yep.
So potentially we might see Aussie, if he finds something good early on in Wreck Ship, we might see him just dip out.
Yep.
Like if he finds one of the 2 suits, then it's probably a good play to just leave. But we will see how he plays this out.
It's pretty rare to have both suits in Wreck Ship, but I say that it does happen. I saw it in one of the races. I think it was in one of Sloaters' races. Both suits were in. One suit was in the right supers, and the other one in the E-tank, right back to back.
Rossi making sure he picks up this missile just so he has 15 for Fantoon. Wants to be able to do comfortable Dopplers on the Ghost. Get a nice 2 or 3 fight.
Yeah, the difference between 10 and 15 is actually pretty significant on the Fantoon fight. Once you get a certain number of missiles, it doesn't matter anymore. But 10 versus 15 and even 15 versus 20, it's a different fight.
Absolutely. It's more calling attention to the fact that he did consciously pick up that missile. It was not a mistake. So
no, absolutely. That was definitely on purpose. And we're going to get a Kraid from Sloaters very soon, and we're going to get that Fantoon fight from Ossie. Hopefully Sloaters' Kraid fight is a little faster than Ossie's Fantoon fight, because no one wants to see Kraid stand up here.
He does get to use that the wave beam to reduce some lag in Kraid's lair. That is what he's doing here, shooting some of... I believe if some of the fingernails actually spawn under you, and you can actually kill them with the wave beam. But either way, gets a nice quick kill. And his reward is...
Grapple beam.
Well,
grapple beam has its uses. It's never something you love to see because it's an indication of Shack Tool. It's an indication of Suitless. Things the runners might not want to do. And a Stilless Meridia would be really fun because these two are going to be two of the best at doing that sort of thing. Maybe we get some Stilless Meridia today.
I was going to say that grapple beam definitely makes you think of Suitless for sure. We'll see if that ends up being the case. It was a nice 2-round fight from Osse. Did get have to have a reappear. Did miss one of the cycles, but still a pretty fast fight.
Yeah, and to your point, grapple is only the first piece. We still need ice and high jump. Spring ball also a nice item to have for Suitless Meridia. Could put Mama Turtle in Logic, but none of the other locations. And we also if I didn't mention high jump, then that's an important component as well.
Mentioned high jump. But yeah, there are plenty of items that you will need in order to consider Suitless.
Yep.
And just grapple is not enough for sure. Well, we will see if Osse finds ice or high jump here at the right side supers, or if he finds something potentially better.
Well, there you go, high jump boots.
Well, that's needs one of Ice or Spring Ball to at least put Mama Turtle in Logic for a shorter Meridia dip.
And the grapple will also get us to the sand pit, but it won't get us to Botswoon. We need that ice beam for that.
Meanwhile, Sloaters has found a lot of E-tanks going down so far.
He really has.
Not so potentially the ship could be stacked.
The hell runs though will be super easy for him. Space Jump making a lot of the movement a lot easier to get through everything, and with 5 E-tanks and at least 2 reserves, I believe, movement shouldn't be a problem to get over to Bubble Mountain if that's where he wants to go.
Yeah, I believe both runners picked up 2 reserves. I'm not 100% sure, but
Ooh, baby, there's a gravity suit. Now Osse could, I could see Osse just leaving here. He only has the 2 E-tanks, and his ammo is not as good as it could be. But if he's feeling like doing the Variolus Lower Norfair, he could just skip the rest of the ship and count on. If he skips the rest of the ship and Vari is there, he's probably still okay. Sloater's picking up his favorite item, the spring ball.
Yeah, we would say it's another item for Suitless, but
it is. But we have a gravity suit.
Not be required since high jump and gravity are both in the same spot, or relatively the same spot. And you're right, Osse is just going to bail out of wrecked ship. He would have to do the full bowling cutscene and would only be able to check one of the 2 items at the back of the ship. So I would say this is a good call. But
yeah, I like the call. You could check one item and you could get the other one. And I mean, we've all seen it has happened where the gravity suit item is speed and the other item is something good. But when you make a decision like that, your thought process isn't going to be, well, I better do it just on the off chance that combination is going to happen. Your thought process is, when am I going to get back here if I have to? What could be here that I'm missing, and will I be able to finish the run if I do miss those things? And Osse, if it's a Vari suit up there, he should still be able to finish this run with the gravity suit. Just needs to pick up a lot more E-tanks and a little bit more ammo. But he's talented enough that I don't know that he needs that many more E-tanks.
Yeah, and there's plenty more E-tanks going down, as Sloaters has already found 3 in the 4 or 5 items checked, so definitely going to be good as he pauses in the middle of collecting an item, so we get this little dimmed effect.
He's going to pop his reserve just a little bit.
Just enough to get him through this room.
Yep.
He does have the space jump, so it's not too dangerous. And there's bombs. Not great, but it is an item.
Yeah, it is an item. It prevents soft locks. Bombs is such a strange item in SM because it's a very important item in the vanilla game because you can't beat the game without glitches if you don't have bombs. But in Randomizer, because we give you power bombs so much earlier, bombs almost become a luxury item to save your power bombs and to save yourself from certain soft lock situations.
Yeah, it looks like Sloaters is going to pop his reserves in this room just to make it to the refill. He's going to have a little bit more than just enough, as long as he doesn't mess up his movement.
Okay, so Osse opening the tube, he does have that other option. He could just go into Meridia after he does Kraid.
Well, Sloaters actually got enough super missile drops to crystal fly there. That was pretty smart, actually. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Saving him a bit of time of farming the bugs. Just gonna refill his health much quicker. And there you see all the power bombs he picked up. He's got plenty of those. And
another one now. So many power bombs. And another E-tank. Well, he doesn't have to farm at least.
Yeah. This is definitely looking like a seed where if Osse chooses, he can definitely pull off a suitless or Variolus Lower Norfair, rather.
Yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see him going and cleaning up all these Bubble Mountain areas. He'd probably want a few more supers. This beam combination is still would be a lot of relief fights for a suitless situation. But that grapple beam also is a nice component when you go in without a Varia because it's really good for farming. It's the fastest way to farm if you have it.
Sloaters, one of those missiles is actually under the pipe in a point where he can't pick it up, so his farming was a little bit slowed down there.
Yep.
But he's fine. He's got plenty of health to make it through the double chamber.
Yeah, another one of these rooms that space jump just makes so much easier. This is one of the worst rooms. Some people call this the real worst room in the game. So the game not giving us a lot of supers. That's like the biggest thing right now. When Osse's gonna have to make the decision: do I go down? With only 10 supers, that's only one crystal flash, and then you can't use any supers on Ridley. But then there's a various suit, and everything changes.
Okay, well, this is very good news for Osse, I would say, assuming he checks this before going down to Lower Norfair, which I don't see why he wouldn't.
No, I can't imagine. I could see him skipping Croc before Lower Norfair. I can't see him skipping Bubble Mountain and Croc. I would assume he would do Bubble Mountain first.
Well, what worries me is maybe he finds something like he finds Charge Beam and he
Yep.
finds another E-Tank, which would put him over the threshold. And
Yep.
like if he checked Croc before all of Bubble Mountain,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
he might get baited into it, which could be very risky. But he would probably check it on the way out. Either way, maybe not.
Okay. Also can do ice first. I like the ice first play. I think that both of these runners did. The idea being if the high jump boots have a energy tank, which they don't, but if they do, they refill you right away. The ice beam has an energy tank, so not quite as good, but almost. Sloater says, you know what? I have Varia. I have Spring Ball. I am going to Lower Norfair. Actually, I don't even. He doesn't even really need Spring Ball. He's gotten so good at that wall jump, worst room in the game without high jump, which is a really, really hard wall jump. I'll bet he'll go for it here, and he will have to do a high jumpless here.
Very nice. High jumpless. This looks good. Oh, I jinxed him.
It was looking perfect, and then yeah, okay. I don't believe he took a save. He's gonna pop that reserve, and let's see if he tries again or if he decides to go back and farm.
Looks like he's gonna Crystal Flash.
Okay, that'll work.
Did he do that early? No, he's good.
Nice, perfect.
But yeah, it's very tricky to get the high jumpless lava dive after ending up at the bottom of the pit because you have to line up the Namahe Flame very specifically, and it's not something you would normally practice because normally if you mess up high jumpless in a category that does that, you are dead, and there's not really much of a point in learning this. But Sloaters does get it.
Gets it.
He not too bad, but he has no super missiles, so he won't be able to check the GT item.
Yeah, he's gonna have to leave that behind. Fortunately for him, we know it's not the gravity suit, but it could be something nice like Charge Beam. Meanwhile, Osse making his way over to Bubble Mountain, and probably will get that Varia suit very soon.
I am interested to see how Osse routes this. He is also looking for super missiles because, in his mind, if he finds enough supers to comfortably kill Ridley, then he's ready to go to Lower Norfair, basically.
Yep. Yeah, because 10, that beam combination is just gonna be too slow if you don't have a Varia suit. Now he doesn't know he's gonna get a Varia suit. I suspect he'll turn around and head straight to Lower Norfair. It'll be easier for him because he does have that gravity suit.
Sloater's actually getting caught in the acid in Pillar's room, so gonna take a lot of damage there now. Oh my. This is not looking ideal.
Yeah, this is one of those things, when you have just that Varia suit, this is not safe. You have to be very careful. These pirates are still going to do like 100 damage a pop. So Sloaters are going to be real careful here.
Fortunately, he does have the space jump, so he is able to maneuver around this space pirate very efficiently. But now he's still in this room with two health. Not exactly a comfortable spot to be. And without the full charge beam, it's going to take a few shots to take down these pirates. Actually, that was less than I thought.
Yeah, I like that he went ahead and took the time to do that. He's going to check this minor item. He's probably still looking for those supers. And gets him. So good on him. Unfortunately, not going to put him in a crystal flash position. So he's still going to have to go through the amphitheater, which is a very dangerous room. I think it's a little underrated in how dangerous it is, especially if you only have that Varia suit, because you get caught in that acid and it's very, very difficult to get out, and mostly you're going to die.
Yeah, I do expect Sloaters to probably check the Ridley E-Tank item before going down to Ridley, just hoping
absolutely.
It's an E-Tank. And even if it's not, he can just refill his power bombs and then refill his health, potentially, if he wants to go through that room a few times. Just get enough health to not die to the 100 damage enemies below him. And it looks like that is what he's going to do. We'll see if he gets
Yeah,
the
I like
springwell
this call.
jump past this guy. Nope. Just going to deal with things the old-fashioned way. Just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, not even enough health to take the damage from the spikes, and he does get an E-tank, so he's good now. I mean, I wouldn't say his ammo's still pretty bad, but yeah, this is still a much better position. And when you think about, like, I often with the top runners that run all the different categories, things like low percent ice or RBO, I like to compare with those kind of things. So, sloaters with a very suit instead of a gravity suit, but with all those E-tanks, this is still a safer loadout than you'd have in low percent ice, especially considering you're talking 72 shots instead of 200 shots, not counting ammo.
Meanwhile, Osse does get that Varia. He does full check Bubble Mountain before going down to Croc or potentially Lower Norfair. So
He's headed on down.
Ice or Speed Booster away from Go mode, and I think he is capable of doing the Crystal Flash clip.
I would be shocked if Osse wasn't capable of doing the Crystal Flash clip. So
I don't know
he might
if
not
he
even
wants
look
to do it though. But
yeah, he does
possible.
have he has bombs and spring ball, which are the two items that can help you with that. So that might incentivize him to do that instead of even looking. I suspect he will at least look at Fire Fleas. He'll look behind Ridley. Might even check like Mama Turtle, but we'll see if he checks anything else. But if he does go with the Crystal Flash, he is going to want to pick up some more ammo because without an Ice Beam or a Speed Booster, he will not be able to Zeb Skip. And this is not good ammo for that.
Here we got the limitations of the starter charge beam right here with the very slow Metal Pirates for Sloaters. Gonna get some double hits in here using the piercing effect of the plasma beam as well as the forward movement of the pirates to get 2 hits in before the beam leaves the hitbox of the Metal Pirates. And that's a nice stack right there.
Yeah, and nice he's got 6-9 super missiles now. Taking a lot of damage here. He's probably gonna want to farm up a bit.
Yeah, I imagine he was gonna farm up a bit either way, but now he has an excuse to do it, I guess.
Yeah, probably wants those full supers anyway.
Did we see what was that, or did Osse check?
Nope.
What was that? Screw attack?
No one's checked screw attack. I think in Osse's case, the only thing that can help him are ice and speed. Sloaters had no supers when he went through there.
I agree, but I feel like checking all of the items for ice and speed in Lower Norfair is probably correct. But we don't know if Osse knows if he's ahead or behind, for whatever that's worth. So it could be he's thinking maybe Sloaters took the same path, and if that's the case, he wants to be skipping items because Sloaters is probably the better runner execution-wise. So just a case of Osse.
Yeah, I would have called Sloaters a better runner execution-wise for sure a few months ago, but Osse's just come up so much since then. I think the gap is really closed, and maybe Sloaters is still the better runner, but if he is, it's not by a whole lot. It's a very close execution race.
I mean, Osse's execution is very good, don't get me wrong, but Sloaters has some of the best execution of any runner. Having a very low 42 any percent time, which is not something a lot of people can say.
Not a lot at all.
I believe he's top 10 on the leaderboards at least, so I would definitely favor him in just a
pure execution. Yeah, okay, I'll agree with you there. Osse's closing the gap fast on a lot of runners.
Absolutely. Osse is a very strong runner.
Okay, there goes Sloaters into the finishing of the Ridley fight.
Yeah, Osse's still looking for
ammo. Yeah, still wants those supers. I think that may even be right there the indication that he's planning on doing that Crystal Flash, because he does need more ammo for Zeb Skip right now, or not for a Zeb Skip, for actually destroying the Zebs. Right now, he'd essentially have to do some refilling to do it with those only 30 missiles and 10 supers.
Really nice super drops from the Metal Pirates, luckily, so he won't need to do any farming on his way into Ridley. But it is still going to be a fairly slow fight, very close to a new route fight, actually. A little bit more missiles, but your beam does a little bit less damage.
Yep.
Luckily, Osse is a solid new route runner. Is going to try to farm for one more super, which he gets very quickly. Gonna get some power bombs as well. Honestly, the extra farming power bombs is a bigger indication that he's potentially planning on doing a Crystal Flash clip, if anything. Just making sure that he has enough power bombs to get it in a reasonable amount of attempts.
Absolutely.
So sloaters, we'll see what he decides to do. I know that in general, sloaters doesn't like going to Crocomire, so it's possible that he skips it, which in this case would be potentially the correct call. We don't know where Speed or Ice is, so it could be correct to go to Croc.
He needs to get to Gravity, which is at the wreck ship, and if he can get a Speed Booster or an Ice Beam, then he can save that Crystal Flash. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take that optimal route that we always like to do, where we go down, kill Craig, get down, kill Ridley, and then Dragon into Fantoon. Oh, there's a super pack.
It's going to be nice for sloaters and for Osse, actually, if he decides to check that.
I think he will check that one. That one doesn't involve door transitions, just a little hop over to the right there.
Sloater's going to check this last minor item. He is not.
Guess not.
Maybe I mean, at this point, with Ridley dead, he doesn't really have as much of a need for minor items. He just needs, gravity and ice or speed.
Yep.
And we know where one of those things are.
Yeah, the one thing for sloaters, he's not going to get baited into Suitless Meridia, I don't think, because those high jump boots are showing up right into the gravity suit. So unless he has all the other suitless things and just decides to bail on wreck ship at that point, gonna pick up that gravity suit, but it may not be quick enough. And now we get to see, it looks like he is, he's gonna go to Croc.
He's gonna farm at least. All right, he's going to Croc. So we will see what Crocomire has in store for us. Now, even with the starter charge beam, the Crocomire fight with Plasma is very quickly. He will die in one shot as long as it is a horizontal shot, not a diagonal shot. So the fight will be very quick. We will see what Crocomire has in his lair. What goods are you hiding today?
Really, a speed booster would be the nicest thing he could get. An ice beam wouldn't be bad either.
Surprise Sloaters isn't jumping across yet. Well, there's
or he can X-ray scope, which you know what, with that baby's starter charge beam, X-ray does help. I mean, it does make you can still do the micro strats. They're not nearly as effective, but it is a way to kill those enemies, Batsun and Dragon.
I would imagine we won't see any X-ray strats out of Sloaters unless he gets the full charge beam, since he has plenty of missiles for Fantoon and grapple beam for Dragon, but I could be proven wrong.
Yeah, maybe use it for boss wound. That might be the one boss where it would make the most sense with this beam combination.
Potentially. Depends on what his ammo looks like going into the fight, I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now we have both runners at 20 supers.
Yeah, Osse actually wants power bombs now, and he skipped a bunch early on, so a little bit of a unfortunate turn of events here.
Yeah.
Did he check the power bombs at Speed Booster? Because there is a world where he just goes back for them. And screw attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice item. It's kind of past its usefulness since we're already done with lower Norfair. So definitely not what Sloaters is looking for.
Well, I would say Screw Attack allows you to do the really nice Moonfall down Red Tower, but you'll notice that Sloaters does not use Moonfall, so
nope. One of our last holdouts, and in fact, of our final four, we have two of our holdouts. Actually, three of our last holdouts. So the Kip gave in and now uses Moonfall, but Azure doesn't use it. Sloaters doesn't use it. Of these four runners, only Osse. Or I should say, only Osse and Kip now.
Osse going to use the nice little tech with the wave plasma beam in order to get through Frog Speedway. It's a little bit riskier with plasma beam because you don't get as much leeway.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you run forward, you should never.
Yeah, and actually the other key is you can't just hold your shoot button. I mean, here you can't anyway because you have charge beam, but you have to just mash your shoot button. So it fires a little bit faster. And Osse gonna go into Meridia. Let's see what he checks. Yeah, I think he checks Mama Turtle. It's just not that long a check, and the payoff, if it turns out to be ice or speed, is pretty big.
Yeah, he checks Mama Turtle. He probably checks a few minor items just to try to get another power bomb pack, or even a few more super missiles would be nice. And then he goes for it, I imagine. He might try to save scum the Meridia Reserve as well. We'll see how he decides to play it out. He's got a few options, is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I think saving is he doesn't even want those. And there's speed booster.
Well, that is go mode for Osse.
Full on go mode.
Yeah, he's gonna go back for those super missiles. I'm not surprised to see that.
No, not at all. So at this point, obviously you run right into the Batsun E-Tank, so he'll be checking that item. He might check the Dragon item. The only thing charge beam or ice beam are really all he could possibly want at this point.
Yeah, I don't hate checking Dragon here, even if you're full go mode, but most top rando runners don't usually do that, so it's possible that Osse just doesn't pick up another item for the rest of the game, except potentially Batsun if it's something good. And at this point, something good is basically just Ice Beam or Charge.
Yep.
So if it's one of the two, then Osse picks it up, and if not, then he is got everything that he's going to have for the rest of the game, most likely.
Yeah, Sloater's going to be in go mode shortly as well, most likely, because he'll get those high jump boots, he'll get his gravity suit, but he's really far away from Meridia. This will make it really tough for him.
Just going to use the super missiles to kill Batsun. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get a one round, but does get a nice quick fight after that. So what's going to be at Batsun? An E-Tank.
No, I don't think we're picking that up.
I don't think we're picking that up either. See if we can get the full halfie. Gets a good climb for it. Almost too high, but does get the full halfie. And he's going to turn off the plasma beam just to do some any percent Dragon strats with the X Factors and the Shine Sparks.
Meanwhile,
I guess just one X Factor.
Meanwhile, Sloater's into his Fantoon fight. Super safe fight with this loadout. Very suit, 5 full E-Tanks, or almost 5 plus E-Tanks, I should say. Lots and lots of ammo.
Yeah, it does have the X-ray as well if he wants to use that, but like I said, I would highly doubt it.
Yeah, on Fantoon, given that you have to get the... Oh, wait, there it is.
Yeah, you're going to see how effective this is.
I don't think Fantoon...
Normally, you only need to X-ray twice to kill Fantoon, or 3 times with this beam combo.
Yeah, because you have to get that eye open first with the missile, and then, you just finish. I think he just finished up with a missile.
He was 1 missile off, actually, so that was almost very impressive from Sloaters. And meanwhile, Osse doesn't quite get the quick grapple kill on Dragon. I'm surprised he's even going for it, though.
Look at this one.
I'm surprised he didn't just go for full speed struts.
Yeah, one option is he may just thought I can damage her down a little bit so that the actual grapple part of the grapple kill is a little shorter.
I mean, what it is, speaking from experience, he doesn't want to get chain damaged because randomly getting chain damaged. There's Ice Beam, by the way.
Ice Beam, nice.
Last item that he could possibly check, basically. But getting chain damaged is a way to lose from a favorable position, and I don't know if Osse knows he's in a favorable position, but I imagine he has an inkling, with how well the early ship paid off.
Yep, I mean, he's in a position to where that he knows that if his route is the same as Sloater's, it's going to be close. And he knows if Sloaters did something else, then he's ahead.
Yeah, so either way, just doesn't want to throw the race at an unlucky chain damage.
And Sloaters is going to find his gravity suit shortly. Sloaters is going to feel behind. Sloaters can only hope that Osse made the decision to go down as well, so that they're even. But he knows in his mind that very well that Osse could have gone up.
Yep, and unfortunately, that is the case. So this is definitely Osse's race to lose, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. There is still a lot of things in Turian that can happen. But with that being said, with the Ice Beam as well, which will make the Metroid room significantly faster,
Yep.
He's in a very good position.
And meanwhile, Sloaters still needs to find that speed booster at Mama Turtle, and I assume he's going to go for it.
Super drop from Osse.
Nice.
Those bugs hooking him up. You love to see it. Osse always looks upset in his cam. I guess the part just because of like how he's positioned his head on his chair.
Yeah, maybe. Because he's always struck me as super calm. Now get to see it's the SG Live with the cams. We get to see what the runners look like in a lot of cases for the first time. Osse, just always, when you talk to him, he just always sounds so calm.
Yeah, for sure. Osse kind of looks like Asher. I think a little bit.
Well, they're both Canadian.
It's true. All Canadians look the same.
That's right.
You heard it here first. This is where he finds out that he forgot to do boss somehow.
Yeah. No, that's Sloaters that does that.
Sloaters. Classic.
Sloaters who, famously did that against Andrew in the 2018 multi-category tournament. They were playing GT Classic, and Sloaters decided that Fantoon wasn't a boss that needed to be killed and ran over to the G4 room. And found out it was only G3. That race actually ended in a tie because there were some mistakes made on Andrew's side as well.
Yeah, one of the all-time greatest Super Metroid races for sure.
Absolutely.
But I think anyone who's run GT Classic has probably done that at least one point. Just like at least run part of the way to G4 and realize, wait a minute, I haven't killed Fantoon
or who's done it in Randomizer. I've seen all 4 bosses. Maybe not Kraid, but the other 3 I've seen people skip and be like, oh, whoops.
I've seen Kraid skipped an RBO.
Yeah, I was about to mention the feral RBO run where he forgot to go to Kraid.
Yeah, that was a PB still, wasn't it?
I know, I believe it was.
Yeah, and then I think I remember maybe less famous clip, but I remember Toasty skipping Dragon, I believe, in a full rando where he found go mode at the precious missiles. I think this was a full rando, and just left.
Oops. That's a good one. Okay, Osse gonna go for that baby skip. He's got all the items he could possibly want for it. With the speed booster, space jump, not space jump, high jump, and wave beam.
Looks like he got it.
Yeah, it sure does.
Meanwhile, Sloaters going through Meridia as fast as he can, but not a whole lot he can do from here.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
It is pretty fast, to be fair. So, I guess the main interesting thing now is just where Charge Beam was, because there's a few positions, Gauntlet and Screw Attack, that both of the runners had access to and didn't end up checking.
Yep.
That could have potentially been that Charge Beam. It also could have been a Shack Tool though, so we can't say for sure.
Yeah, or Sand Pit or Plasma Beam, those meridian locations that no one wants to check. Okay, so this will be a 60-shot fight. So really, it's essentially a any percent new route fight.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 on full halfy. So that's nice. Unfortunately, Osse doesn't have anything in the reserve, so we won't be able to do a stand-up glitch. But
Probably not worth it
at this
without
point,
the
that's
actual
not gonna...
charge beam.
Well, it saves a little bit of time, like 5 or 6 seconds. Not gonna make or break your
No, absolutely not.
race, most likely, but it does save time.
Yep.
Looks like Sloaters is using the X-ray. Okay.
See if he can do this. You know, how quickly can he spam that button? Not quickly enough.
Well, so you actually don't necessarily want to be spamming the button quickly. You want to be letting go of the button, like right as the iframes are dropped. So, like, I think most enemies have like 20 iframes from Plasma, and you have to hold X-ray for 16 frames. So optimally, you alternate between 16 frames of X-raying and 4 frames of not X-raying. So you have to kind of get a rhythm to it, but it's very difficult. And didn't really matter too much for Sloaters.
I'm saying it's not that difficult to do it. I mean, with a regular charge beam, but yeah, with this charge beam, it's definitely more difficult because you have to just do it more.
Yeah, essentially what it means is you don't want to actually be spamming the X-ray as fast as possible, because if you do, then you'll get a few X-rays where your beam still doesn't do any damage because the iframes haven't wore out.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, Osse in the cutscene. Like you said, no, didn't have quite enough energy left to do the stand-up, which is fine. I mean, even especially with this beam combo, so he's just gonna wait it out.
This is a sub 50 seed, it looks like. So
yeah, I think
really nice from Osse. Just a combination of a pretty fast seed and making the right checks, as well as the dash change is actually coming up big with the starter charge beam, allowing for Mother Brand and Ridley to be accessed much easier.
He would have to pick up a lot more ammo or pick up that charge beam. He would not be able to do this with this ammo count.
Yeah, so a combination of all of those three led to a very nice time from Osse. Looks like it's going to be a low to mid 48, depending on how escape goes. A 48, 20-ish. Might actually... I guess we won't quite see a high five. It's only one spot to high five, and Sloaters is going to be going past it a little too fast. Although he is refilling at the ship, and that will take a while because he's very low on energy.
So that health is pretty low.
I do think we're still going to barely be missing the high five. They might both be in Parlor at the same time, but Sloaters isn't actually going down. Nope, not even. Sloaters is just... well... Sloaters wanted to make me a liar. This is an actual accidental turnaround on the D-pad. I think we've all been there.
And Osse finishing up with an official race time of 48:19. So GG's to Osse, takes game 1. Looks like Sloaters is going to continue. He's only got Torian to go, so why not?
Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of continuing in a best of.
Yeah, me neither. But you know, it's not too much time. And really, it gives your opponent more time for a break than it does for you, so...
That's fair. Either way, it's also possible that Sloaters is just gonna practice a few things. Like he might just go for baby skip and then call it, or something like that.
He's got that spring ball. I don't know if he's quite gotten that spring ball baby skip yet, but could
Well,
go for
now would
that.
be a
That'd be
good
pretty
time to
swag.
practice.
Yeah, exactly. Does save time if you can do it.
Also gives us time to see where Charge Beam was.
Nah, we're not going to see it in the credits.
Oh, right. It's a race seed. I forgot.
Which is unfortunate.
Makes sense, though. Well, at the same time, I guess if you're in a position to see the credits of the other runner, then you're already in trouble.
Yeah, there's that. So there's missed that one little square. I think that cost him the baby skip.
Yeah, he was going for a 5 jump, normal baby skip instead of a 6 jump, so he was kind of showing off, but unfortunately doesn't quite get it. But it does look like he is continuing.
We'll have to refill.
Yeah, so that's what not too much of a time loss, although he did get grabbed pretty late in the baby skip, so like a 25-ish second loss potentially. Unfortunately, no matter how much time he would save from baby skip, he is still in second, but there's still 2 more races to go potentially.
Win for the speed. Zeb skip. Looks like he's just gonna.
Oh,
he's gonna go for the spring ball. Nice.
Right.
I love the spring. The spring ball Zeb skip is really nice because you don't have to turn off that screw attack, so it saves you a menu.
There is, of course, a way to do the traditional Zeb skip with screw attack on, but it is a little bit trickier. Requires use of the down back, and a lot of runners just opt to do the spring ball Zeb skip in rando, and even in hundo, you'll see a lot of times it loses a little bit of time, but it is much easier. And obviously in GT Classic, where it saves time because you can do it without taking damage, you'll see it there from the top runners.
And Sloaters will fire his 60 shots here.
Yeah, all in all, spring ball baby skips, I believe it's a pretty recent discovery, so one of the bigger...
I wouldn't call it a recent discovery. I've seen it as far back as a couple years ago, but it really wasn't implemented a whole lot until, I'd say, the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first person to really be implementing it was Stosty when he was grinding GT Classic for a bit. But
that would make sense.
Either way, I would call it one of the bigger new implementations to the run. Just for how much easier it is, and the fact that it does save time in a major category. It saves a good amount of time too. Like, I don't know exactly how much time it saves in GT Classic, but it's a nice amount.
It's not just the the time. It's a fairly easy trick to do, and you save that menu. It's always good to save the menu time.
Just how much time does a pause, unpause, plus activating a little bit of health and reserve save, which I think it's like 8 seconds or so.
Something like that.
Which is, like I said, pretty significant for a category that's closing in on 30 minutes.
And notice that Sloaters is going to go ahead and do that stand-up glitch.
So he'll save his 6 seconds.
Yeah, if that. So is making sure the baby does attach to him. That's kind of important.
You don't want to you don't want the baby to freeze in a spot where he isn't being hit by Mother Brain, because that would be a soft lock.
Yep.
Shoutouts to glitchy sound effects.
Yeah, there's just a few moments in stand-up glitch that always make me nervous when you hear that sound, and when the sprite just changes just like it just did over on Sloater's side. There's still going to be quite a few shots here, because like we said, we didn't have the full... I did not actually have charge beam there.
I've had stand-up glitch a few times. Like if you shoot the last shot a little bit late before you're given hyper beam, like you end up teleporting like to the ceiling and facing the other way, which is always like really jarring when it happens. It's like, this was not supposed to happen.
Exactly.
But luckily you are just able to turn around and finish the fight, so it's not too bad. Sloater's also getting a sub-hour time, which is very nice for sure, and getting that blue bomber, so...
That's what he wanted to finish it off. He wanted to show off the blue bomber.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Pretty much anything that's got spring ball tech is something that Sloater's going to want to do. He just, that's his, like I said, his favorite item.
Yeah, spring ball, definitely a nice item. Just the movement tech it allows is very fun. Fortunately, as you know, it is not in a great location for most categories.
A terrible location for most categories.
I'd argue it's a terrible location for all categories, but in one category you're forced to pick it up.
All right, Sloater is going to finish up with an official race time of 55:47. So GG's to Sloaters, and we'll let the credits run, and we'll take a little bit of a break, get a new seat to the runners, and we'll see you in just a little bit. And we're back. Osse having taken game 1 of this best of 3. So he's up 1-0. So Sloaters needs to win this to try and force a game 3. And be interested to see how these runners react. What do you think we're going to see, Derp?
I feel like both runners didn't do anything, like didn't play badly. Obviously, Osse made the better gamble in going ship early, but I imagine neither runner is really coming out of that with a different strategy in mind. Generally, you'll see runners, if they go to ship first and it doesn't pay off, they'll usually tend to go down, while the opposite is not usually true, but we'll see if Sloaters decides to make that difference. Other than that, I'm hoping for the runners to do very similar routes, just to see, execution and smaller decisions rather than just the game decided by an early ship. So I am hoping Osse goes down and Sloaters continues to go down, or they both go up. Either way, that's what I'm hoping for personally.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. It would be really neat. Like we talked about how close these guys are in execution. It would be neat to see that head to head.
Yeah, obviously Sloaters does have better execution overall, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's favored in a world where both runners do the same route. There's a lot of small decisions that make a lot of difference.
Absolutely.
So the first item's gonna be high jump. That's nice to see, but it is gonna mess with the runner's muscle memory for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good news, bad news. So obviously you want high jump boots, and you love high jump boots. Everybody likes high jump boots. The ceiling item, not a problem. You don't have to do the clip, so he'll just be able to jump straight into the ceiling, grab that item. The bad news is things like the climb, things like Alcatraz, the timing of those change when you have those high jump boots. So the very, very, very early game, you might see a little bit less clean movement just because we're not used to having high jump boots at this point.
Yeah, personally, I expect the runners to be fine in the climb since they are both experienced rando runners, but Alcatraz could prove to be a little bit tricky, and then there's a few other spots where you'll see some suboptimal movement because you normally wouldn't be going through this with the high jump, such as hello.
Sloaters skipping the minor item. Not going to get that super missile. Okay. Oh, that was not on purpose. He for a moment, at least I'm going to guess that wasn't on purpose. For a moment, it looked like he was going to go back, but I think once he didn't go back, once he didn't get it the first time, I think going back would just, I don't think that's the right move. I think just move on. You just hope it's not power bombs and it isn't. But yeah, to your point, these guys, I believe, both do wall jumps for the climb, so that's not going to mess with them as much. I know for myself, since I do ledge grabs, it completely messes my ledge grabs up.
Yeah, you do see the difference in speed from what you would normally see in the climb from Sloaters. He's moving.
Flying up. Yeah, he's moving up real quick.
Honestly, Parlor is where there's going to be potentially more issues, but once again, Sloaters doesn't seem to be having too much trouble.
Yeah, maybe just
for a little bit of a different.
Pretend that the power is shaking and you're in the escape, because then you usually have your hydro boots by then.
Yep. So that goes pretty well for him. Osse gonna be taking it a little bit slower, but not gonna have too much trouble.
Ooh, a screw attack.
There's a screw attack, so.
Well, that's right, because we didn't get bombs. Yeah, we didn't get power bombs, so this had to be one of bombs, screw attack, or speed booster. And screw attack's a really nice item to get there. It just makes things really, really safe. They can check the gauntlet item with that screw attack if they want to. I doubt either will. You can't go all the way through. You'd have to grab the item and leave. And Sloaters making that Alcatraz look completely normal. No problem having with those high jump boots. And we get an E-tank.
Osse, I didn't see. It looked like he had a little bit of trouble getting that Alcatraz, but not going to take too long. He does have the benefit of having super missiles, while Sloaters doesn't, and hasn't really been checking many minor items anyways. So
no, the only one he could check is the one that he skipped, and we're making the assumption he skipped it on purpose. If he's watching this in the morning, he could maybe correct us. But
maybe, I don't know. when this will be broadcast, but I imagine I will probably not be around, so hopefully he'll let us know. At least let chat know. He also needs a missile, which he's going to get very quickly. Did have full health, like, so wasn't worried.
Like 80%, except we have that high jump and that screw attack. But then we see some supers, and so we'll be even on that front at least.
Yep, and there's another pack right there. So the I don't know if you'd call it a risk. It might have just been a mistake, but either way, he's going to pay off.
Yeah, if he ends up winning by like 10 seconds, we'll just say it's because you skipped that missile at the beginning, or that super at the beginning. I'll see if either one of them goes for the screw attack to get the item back here. Oh, it is a power bomb. Okay.
Yeah, Osse gets it first try, and Sloater's having a little bit of trouble. I usually like to back up a little bit further.
Yeah, this is a difficult trick. I can't.
You know what's kind of messing them up here is high jump.
Yeah,
so this is
absolutely. Sloater's going to give up on it. This. So hopefully there's some power bombs in Big Pink. Otherwise, that's going to really hurt Sloaters and really help Osse. It's not a good situation for Sloaters here, being down 1-0.
Looks like Osse didn't check the early super missile location, so they are going to be even on super missiles. But having that power bomb is actually very big for Osse because it means he gets to check this right away. And so if this is something big, then this is bad news bears for Sloaters.
Just
luckily,
an E-tank.
It's not.
So hopefully if Sloaters can get some power bombs over here, he doesn't have to come back. He doesn't choose to come back to get that item, it being just an E-tank.
Yep, no and a missile bombs yet, though. Also means he can't check wave gate, so there's still a few more spots.
Can't check wave gate, can't check charge beam.
Oh, he can't check charge beam, can he?
Yeah.
That's... Oh, man, that's rough that he wasn't able to get that screw attack trick.
Yeah, he's going to have to just keep going. And we'll see what the items are on Osse's side.
I imagine he'll check the pipe missile here. If this is power bombs, which it's not, but if it was, I imagine he would have turned back and checked a couple of those items. At least charge beam.
Grapple beam. Ooh. That could matter?
It could.
It could?
Unlikely.
It could be suitless. That'll probably lead Osse to check X-ray that Sloaters probably doesn't check at this point, so kind of a to-be-determined item, essentially.
Yep, it is possible. We've seen runners in the past early check X-ray with basically the vanilla loadout, most notably Ponk, but I believe Sloaters was one of the runners who was doing it alongside him when he was racing Ponk.
Yeah, Sloaters can definitely do it, but of course without a power bomb we can't even get in there, so not going to help him out. And a space jump. Again, my favorite item. So movement can be pretty easy. Again, that'll help with hell runs in Norfair and such. So Sloaters has no choice but to be down here. He can't go anywhere else. Osse will have to make a decision, of course, whether he goes up or down.
Well, he could technically check alpha power bombs, and if it's a power bomb, then he could have potentially gone somewhere else. But I've never seen that item be a power bomb when I go there with no power bombs personally.
That's that location that, I mean, it's such a gamble, and if it's not power bombs, now you're looping all the way back around. Not something he wants to do.
He does have screw attack, so he could have gone and checked Gauntlet potentially, but even then, it's not a great gamble. Is Osse gonna go check the X-ray? He hasn't found anything in the items that Sloaters had to skip so far, but he does have knowledge that it's nothing.
He has space jump. He has a space jump, which is a very nice item. It's my favorite item, but given that we have high jump boots, Sloaters going back for it would not be worth the time.
I mean, Osse has...
Oh.
Like, he found 2 E-tanks and grapples at the items, and there's a third E-tank.
Oh, space jump was a spacer. Never mind. He will have... Everybody's going to have space jump. Yeah. So no, yeah, you're right. There was nothing there. So and here's some power bomb. So Sloaters never goes back to Brinstar. He'll be fine.
Yeah, the important thing is that Aussie has knowledge that those are nothing, but
Sloaters could
with
get baited back. With
but
the
the
exception
odds
of the
are
grapple
because it
beam.
was nothing. Okay, it could grapple beam could matter, but the odds are since there were so many E-tanks, Sloaters probably never ends up going back there if he finds plenty of good items in other
Yeah,
places.
exactly.
So, another you could argue a mistake from Sloaters is definitely giving him a good position.
Yeah, the only way that this situation comes back to bite him is really if we get that suitless seed, and we do see a Varia suit, so we're not going to get no lower North for Hell runs. So don't know where that gravity is. The bad part for Sloaters is if, for instance, now that we're seeing Ossie's going down, if gravity suit is in the wreck ship, Sloaters and Ossie are both runners that will just commit to suitless Meridia. But Sloaters won't have that option without that grapple beam.
Yeah, he will have a tougher time at least. I've seen Sloaters do suitless Meridia without grapple beam. It was a lot of obscure tricks, including
Yeah.
the double spring ball jump in Mount Everest.
Uh-huh.
It is
Yep,
possible.
Yeah, it is possible. There's some crab climbing you can do, snail climbing in the aqueduct area. So it is definitely doable. It would never be in logic, of course.
So what is interesting is that Sloaters actually didn't go to check Kraid. He actually went straight down to Upper
Well, he had
Norfair.
to. He didn't have a power bomb. He could have gone right back up.
Oh, right.
But
I forgot there was a bomb block there.
Yeah, I suspect that he'll just go and do Kraid afterwards, and maybe almost do. Ideally for him, it would end up being a. Let me get this right. RK DP. Not the boss order you see every day.
Yeah, definitely not. Hopefully he remembers to go to Kraid, though.
We were just talking about skipping bosses on your way to beat the game. Very nice quick kill from Osse.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that would burn Sloaters here is if there's like speed booster at Kraid, but there's another E-tank, so
yep. Yeah, speed booster would be another one that would hurt him not having.
Yeah, I value the faster movement from speed booster very highly. Personally, I think it saves more time than people kind of expect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely more than a luxury item if you're able to get it early.
For sure.
Not to mention the fact that it does give you access to Botwoon, of course. But we'll see if anything's at the Kraid E-tank, because so far Aussie has not found anything that Sloaters wasn't able to get. So this is kind of the last chance, and it's a reserve.
Yeah, this is really interesting. If everything we need is down here in Norfair, advantage Sloaters. If they have to go up to the wreck ship to get stuff, I think advantage Aussie. Depending on whether Sloaters, goes and doubles back to the Brinstar area.
There's your wave beam. Wave at speed. We'll see if we see speed at wave. I believe that's called French vanilla in some circles. But yeah, this is definitely looking good for Sloaters with how things ended up turning out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still the possibility of suitless that Aussie has access to and Sloaters does not.
Okay, we're gonna get the wave beam area check.
I do imagine Sloaters just go straight to Lower Norfair with this item set, especially with all the super missiles he's finding.
Yeah, 20's pretty good. 45 missiles is a decent supplement. He will have to supplement with charge beam. Might use a few power bombs as well. With wave beam, there's a gravity suit.
Oh, that definitely makes the decision a lot easier, I would say.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I would say advantage sloaters, but they aren't super far apart.
Yeah, we still have that, the same issue we had in the last race. Will we find Speed Booster? Will we find Ice Beam? Where are they? Who's going to commit to the Crystal Flash Clip? I suspect both of them will go for it, rather than go searching all over the place. The Sloaters in particular, having skipped all the stuff, if he starts looking for an Ice Beam or a Speed Booster in particular, it's gonna, all that time he's gained by like you say, being gained by those power bombs, he's gonna give back.
So one thing I would like to see, I don't know if Osse's going to do it because his ammo isn't looking great, but I would like to see him go straight down to Lower Norfair and then check Bubble Mountain on his way out.
You could
especially
do
because theoretically, let's say he finds like Ice or Speed at in Lower Norfair, then the first item he would check in Bubble Mountain would be Wave.
Yes.
And so he could theoretically just skip the other two checks if the stars align, I guess, and that happens. Although I imagine with this low super count, he will be checking at least a few of the Bubble Mountain locations, probably all of them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he does this. We're going to see the screw attack item over on Slaughter's side. And take the opportunity to farm some extra supers. I like that.
Nasi's already to the point where he's skipping E-tanks, so...
Yeah, no, he's got 7. Once you get past 7, there's really not much of a point to grabbing more.
Yeah, unless you're trying to refill your health, there isn't much of grabbing an E-tank. And Osse had basically full health at that point. He's gonna do a little bit of farming here. Just wants to top off on supers more than anything.
Yeah, I think so.
One thing to note is that Sloaters has a lot more missiles than Osse does.
Yeah, Osse's been skipping most of the missiles, I think.
It will make Ridley a little bit easier with the X Factors, 20 supers, and plenty of missiles. Should be a fairly easy fight as long as a couple of those X Factors connect. Even if it gets a 1 X Factor fight, I think that's still plenty.
It still helps. Yep. And that's still 12. That's still the equivalent of 2 super missiles. So
I believe
each particle does 300 damage. So 1 X Factor is going to do 1200. So every X Factor is going to equal 2 supers.
Every little bit will help. And he's finding mostly missiles, so definitely wants to hit at least a few to make it a comfortable fight. Not have to rely on the 80 damage wave shots. We'll see if he finds a beam or potentially something else. I don't know what else.
So a lot of things that can help him out here, but that's not one of them.
That is not one of them for sure.
I think that's the first one we've seen in game 2.
We saw a reserve tank at Crady tank.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Osse doing the favorite randomizer move where you start to leave because you think the item's not going to be any good, and you realize, oh wait, I do need to pick that up. Grabs his gravity suit. And I gotta believe he heads straight down to Lower Norfair.
No reason not to with this loadout. Obviously, you're still a bit low on ammo, but it's still a very doable Ridley fight, especially for runners of this caliber. Still no supers so far in Lower Norfair. It's just been missiles. Missile after missile for Slaughter.
Yeah, lots of missiles.
I imagine Osse will pick at least a couple of these up since it's all he has. Sloaters does need to pick up a power bomb at one point. I doubt there's a world where he ends up leaving Ridley with 0, but if so, he could theoretically get stuck down here and would have to go back to farm a power bomb from the Viola. Are the enemies down here Violas or multi-Violas? I know there's a difference. I don't know what the difference is.
I feel like the multi-Violas are the ones that fly around. And in fact, the one important point is he does have a screw attack. Sloaters is going to need five full power bombs to get out, and the screw attack will save him the 6th. If you don't have screw attack, bombs, speed booster, spring ball, any of those items, you need 6 power bombs to get out of Lower Norfair. So he's got one spot where that screw attack's going to save him power bombs. So he's got to be very conscious that when he leaves, he's got to leave this area with 5 full power bombs. So every one he uses for an X Factor here, he's going to have to make sure he farms up and replaces.
Yeah, luckily he did farm on his way in, so I imagine he's conscious of that, and he is going to farm on the way out. Doesn't quite get a perfect X Factor there, but I believe 3 of the particles connected, so...
That's still pretty good.
What, 3.5 super missiles? And looks like he's going to have plenty of ammo to finish off this fight without resorting to beam shots. Yeah, you see Ridley's already at half HP with 15 supers left. So
yeah, this would be a 360 shot fight with this beam if you were to not use ammo. So better that we just unload our ammo as best we can.
I don't know how comfortable Osse is with X Factors. I know he runs New Route, but I don't know if he does X Factors on Ridley, at least more than one. There's your 3rd reserve tank.
So Lower North are pretty empty.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that does still favor Sloaters.
I think so too. Now, we don't know really who's in the lead right now. Sloaters still has to kill Kraid. Osse having already done that since he had power bombs. So what we're going to most likely see in a little bit is a convergence at Meridia. And at that point, we'll be able to tell a little bit better who is actually in the lead here. But yeah, I advantage Sloaters for a lot of reasons. Just because he got to skip so much.
I think the biggest, like the most likely way that Osse comes back in this, because Osse is behind. Like, let's make that clear. He is at least a little bit behind due to checking way more items that Sloaters. Yep. But I think the most realistic way that things happen is potentially there's another seed where Speed Booster or Ice Beam is at Mama Turtle, and so if Floaters like checks Croc and checks Ship, doesn't find it, and then goes back into Brinstar.
Yeah, they don't even have enough power bombs to Crystal Flash, and Sloaters has got to make sure he has a power bomb when he comes out of here. There's one more spot where he could potentially soft block, because once you get out and go down those crumble blocks, you need to be able to... Oh, wait, he's fine. He's got Screw Attack. Never mind. If he didn't have Screw Attack, he'd have an issue, but he's got Screw Attack. Not going to be an issue, so we'll just forget I even started to say that. And we get a power bomb pack here. We've been talking about the Crystal Flash clip, and you know what? Sloaters needs another power bomb pack to do it. Osse will probably run into the one that Sloaters just picked up, and we'll be able to do it, so that could be a factor as well.
It's definitely possible. Osse might go for it, although he's still not in a comfortable position to be killing Mother Brain. Does land that second X Factor a little bit better than Floaters did. Even gonna go for a 3rd. No, he's not. I was gonna say that was a bit of an ambitious X Factor if he went for it, but decided against it. He's gonna go for this one, and it's gonna all 4 are gonna hit the tail. It looks like.
Yeah, it didn't look like it worked very well. This will be a harder fight for Osse.
Yeah, he's got 13 super missiles, and then the equivalent of about the equivalent of 3 super missiles actually in missiles. So he just wants to use power bombs to get Ridley to half. Looks like he did, if I'm seeing that correctly.
Yeah, and the thing that he's doing, what you want to do is you want to lay those power bombs as close to the middle as you can and try and double hit Ridley, because Ridley will try and get away from those.
So once he finishes this super missiles, it should be a dead Ridley.
There's a couple of regular missiles in for good measure.
Definitely not a bad fight for Osse, but he does need to remember to refill on his power bombs. Only has 3. That would not be enough to escape.
Osse decides, doesn't want the reserve.
Now we see Sloaters going back to do Kraid. And Osse not going to make a mistake. Going to be farming up some power bombs. He has 6, which is plenty to get out.
Yep.
Gonna farm up a couple more just for good measure.
And more supers over at Crade Missiles.
Floaters, potentially. He's not particularly close to the 60 super missile mark that you want to be. Although I guess it would be 55 with this many missiles, but it's possible to do an ammo kill on Mother Brain. And of course, if you are planning on doing an ammo kill, you don't need to be as tight in this randomizer because you do have the starter charge to fall back on just to do a few more shots.
Yep, this would be, without ammo, this would be still be a 360 shot Mother Brain fight, so that's a long fight.
Yeah, luckily with the ammo that he has, not factoring in Zebs, of course, but he would be able to reduce that to around a 100 shot fight, I believe. Which is still a lot, but not as much.
Yeah, we did see in the race yesterday, Toast using some X factors on Mother Brain, which was really, really interesting. Unfortunately, the video went out on the rebroadcast, but I have it on good authority that when the YouTube video comes out, then that will be will come from the original recording. So look for that. Yeah, it's a really funny moment.
You know, I just noticed in Osse's cam, he's in the GT room, it looks like.
Yeah, that's right.
Something to know. I didn't realize he had a green screen on. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's just where he lives.
There you go.
Maybe he is GT.
Maybe. Okay, what are we gonna do now, Sloaters? We're gonna see Mama Turtle, and he's gonna have some decisions to make. He needs to get, if he wants to do a Crystal Flash Clip, he needs a Power Bomb. If he wants, otherwise he needs Ice or Speed here.
Yeah, there's a few minor items in Meridia that he can check. There's the Beach Missile and the other items up there. I believe that's called Oasis? No, it's Watering Hole.
Watering Hole. Watering Hole.
I was close.
Which is kind of an oasis, so that works.
Either way, there's like 4 or 5 minor items he can check. There's an E-Tank, so you might just see him bail. He's going to keep looking for a power bomb, and I imagine he's going to probably save scum the Meridia Reserve.
Yeah, it's not
just to see if that's Ice or Speed. And then he's going to... We don't really know where he's going to go from there. And it looks like Osse also skipped that Crocomire check.
Yeah,
so
and the other...
Been...
So the other interesting thing here, neither runner has Spring Ball or bombs, and those are items that would make that Crystal Flash Clip easier. So yeah, it looks like Sloater's not going to go for it. Looks like he's just going to leave and go over to the wreck ship and hope to find some speed or ice there.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I would not be surprised if Osse also just doesn't go for the Spring Ball clip or Crystal Flash clip without Spring Ball or bombs. It's much more difficult. But we will see how he plays this. He's about a minute or so behind Sloaters right now. He does still have the knowledge that Brinstar is effectively empty, and Sloaters does not. That was the sound effect.
Well, there's a power bomb.
Interesting.
I think you keep going if you're Sloaters here.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't. There's no reason to turn around. If you're already leaving Meridia before you're checking all of the minor items, you're not going back.
Unless you're super confident in your Crystal Flash Clip, you're not turning around just finding that power bomb.
Unless you're cross product.
Well, yeah, cross product is cross product. He does all sorts of goofy things.
It's a shame. Was he part of the randomizer tournament here?
Yep. Yeah, he was beaten by White Mage Becky last night, and then Osse over Becky to get to this matchup. And I think Osse's gonna go for it.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's at least gonna check the... Well, he doesn't have enough super missiles right now.
Yeah, he's gonna go farm, I think. Oh no, he's gonna check the sand pit. Did he save? He didn't save.
He didn't save, but he doesn't have enough to do the clip anyway, so he's just checking the item.
No, but he could go farm supers though.
That's true, but It's still.
So the point is, he's not committing to it. He's trying to find something to help him out. And that Spazer is not going to do it. Kind of ironic we see it. Yeah, a little ironic that we see a Spazer here, and I think he is going to pick it up, or he's going to pick up these supers. Because the original Dash that we played in a tournament last winter had some more radical changes. One of them was a Spazer that would actually shoot out the blocks.
All right, so is this the moment? Are we gonna see a runner go to Shack Tool on their own volition here? There's still plenty of checks left. Does he do it?
Is one of the answers there?
Doesn't look like it. Oh, he is?
No, he is going. He's going for it.
This is the heads-up play we've been waiting for.
This is really interesting. The way this seed is turned out is very straightforward, except for this one little detail. And it's might come down to where is this item? Is it at Shack Tool? Is it at the wreck ship? We know it's not at Brinstar.
Actually, I do think a lot of this check comes from the fact that this is a best of, and Osse's already a game up, so we can kind of afford to take more risks like this. So
yeah, I think so.
Obviously, in a situation where we're in best of ones and a bad gamble can just mean you lose, you're not going to see a lot of runners go for things like this. But Osse, with a bit of leeway, is going to make the gamble, and so far paying off with an E-Tank at right side supers. There aren't too many E-Tanks left though, so
no, there aren't.
Odds are there's at least something in wreck ship.
Now, what could be really interesting is if one of the runners finds ice and the other one finds speed.
Yeah, I think in either case, I would favor the runner who found speed, but
I would too.
It would be close.
Also using some hundo strats, letting that snail dig out the last little bit of the sand there.
He's gonna have to use a couple power bombs. Oh, there's spring ball.
Yeah, I'll help him get out. But this is where maybe safe scumming might have been a better answer, because he could just then reset. At this point, spring ball just not going to do that much good for us.
Well, spring ball does allow him to do the crystal flash clip a little bit easier.
Yeah, maybe he
chooses. Wants to commit to.
Yeah, that's a good point. He might try and commit to that crystal flash with the spring ball. And at this point, speed. Am I not mistaken? But doesn't speed have to be up here or in Gauntlet? I mean, that's all we have left, is it not? Because speed can't be at Waterway.
Neither runner checked
we have Crocomire. No one checked Croc.
I will say this: Osse is definitely closer to Crocomire.
See where he goes from leave. Oh, Sloaters can get baited into those Brinstar checks.
Yeah, he's checking the Brinstar items.
Oh.
So, Sloaters, basically, with what we know, for Sloaters to be in a good position, Ice or Speed has to be at Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's probably where he's going to go
Which
first.
is possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And honestly, is looking very likely.
So we have 5 so we have 2 items at Croc, we have Gauntlet, and we have 2 more items at the wreck ship.
Looks like Osse's also going to the wreck ship here, though.
Let's see. We'll know in a second.
He didn't pick up a few power bombs from the crabs. I assume if he was going for the crystal flash clip, he would be picking those up more diligently. So he's just going to leave.
So we're going to get back to the wreck ship about the same time. So if Gauntlet's the answer, then Sloaters. Big advantage to Sloaters. Osse going to go. I mean, why not go to the wreck ship? You have to kill Fantoon anyway. Well, we see a charge beam. Okay, which is that's a nice pickup for Sloaters that Osse might not get.
There is some more good news.
No, this is really bad for Sloaters.
I mean, we knew Sloaters was going to be checking these items.
Yeah, he's going to keep going and check those items. Not going to get anything for it.
Yeah, some good news for Sloaters is that Osse is also going to check wreck ship and is most likely also going to check Gauntlet. So he actually won't save a ton of time over Sloaters' route.
But we're down to Crocomire and Gravity Suit location as the only thing left. So
unless Gravity is Ice or Speed, then this is
Crocomire.
It's probably going to come down to Croc, yeah.
Oh my.
Statistically speaking, there's a 1 in 3 chance that it's not Croc, which means there's 2 in 3 chance that it is. That's not entirely true
And if you're
since there's 2
sloaters,
items, but you know.
don't you just have to go back to Croc once you find these items are nothing? Like you've already bailed on the one item in the wreck ship.
Yeah, I mean he'll check X-ray on the way down, but after that, it's between Croc and Gravity, and you're not going to go back to Gravity after you already bailed on it. So he's going to go straight to Croc most likely. Going to be skipping that E-Tank. Pretty smart, I would say. There's a lot more items that if they're E-Tanks, you can get them a little bit faster, I would say. Didn't really comment much on Sloater's Fantoon fight, but he did use X Factors. Well, it looks like Osse's just going to go for some Dopplers.
Yeah, well, Osse picked up that Spacer Beam, so he'd have to menu the Spacer off, and maybe just doesn't want to do that.
See, we see an air Doppler here? Nah. Just gonna go for a safe 3 round.
And of course, let's also remember that there are going to be 2 items available. Now, one is very likely one's gated by the other, so that might actually be irrelevant. But 2 possible items, we could still find one in one place, the other in the other place, and they could both get items to do this.
Yeah, at this point, I think if Gravity is an item, or is Ice or Speed, I mean, and Osse checks it, I think I favor Osse here, regardless of which item it is, and regardless of if Sloaters finds one at Croc. But it's still very close, especially since Sloaters has that Charge Beam, which is a very big...
That Charge Beam is actually a big factor. His right now we're talking a 120 shot fight for Sloaters, and this is the beam combo we saw on Zo's side in game 2. It was a 261 shot fight where he threw in those X Factors, and it was absolutely wild, and it was long, and yeah, not a fun fight.
Yeah, coming down to the last few possible checks, you do have to wonder. I doubt Sloaters will do it, but he also doesn't know what Shack Tool is, so it's possible that he goes to check that.
Yeah, he hasn't done Sandpit and Shack Tool.
Yeah, pretty unlikely, I would say, but it is technically something he could do. But I imagine he's going straight to Croc from here.
And we'll see where Osse's going in just a second.
I don't think Osse's going to leave Gravity, if only because he's checked so many more options than Sloaters did when he arrived.
For him, it's a 1 in 4, right? For him, it's Croc, Gauntlet, and Gravity Suit.
Yeah, so I think
Sloaters heading back into Meridia, so he's gonna check Waterway. He's gonna check Sandpit and maybe Shack Tool as well.
Well, he can't check Sandpit from this way. He's just going to Shack Tool, right?
Always going straight to Shack. Yeah, I guess so. That's an interesting call. He'll get to Shack Tool quicker, but he's not. And the Sandpit, we know it's not the Sandpit, so if he never goes there, it's fine. But if he decides to backtrack there afterwards, that's a much bigger time loss than doing these 2 together.
Yeah, honestly, this is just a lesson that you should always be going to Croc. This is not a biased message at all, I swear. Fortunately, Osse's stream is frozen, so we aren't going to see... We might not see what...
Hopefully we get it back before he gets to that Gravity location.
Hopefully.
Okay, good. We're in bowling. We're good.
Nothing to worry about. And so here it is. Will this be a Crocomire required seed or not? It's gonna be
an E-Tank. Okay. Well, Osse maybe heads over to Gauntlet, and then it's a race to Croc.
Yeah, it's a race to Croc, and I think if Osse's going to Gauntlet, then Sloaters is definitely in a better position.
As long as he doesn't go to that sand pit first.
True, but I assume he won't be going to the sand pit first.
I think if he was going to go to the sand pit, he would have gone.
Sloaters will...
Yeah, oh my god, Sloaters, please.
He knows he wants it.
He wants that spring ball. I love it. Favorite item, can't turn it down. But yeah, if he was going to go to the sand pit, I gotta believe he would have done it on his way to Shack Tool. Instead, he's gambling, skipping that, and I think you're right. I think he heads straight over to Crocomire.
Yeah.
You know, Osse's going to be really, really far away from Croc, all the way over here in Gauntlet. Does at least get a charge beam. So that's at least something, and his beam combination is now better than Sloaters is because he's got that spazer, which was in the sand pit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a factor, but I don't know if it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, so the difference is a lot smaller now. So he's got a 87 shot fight versus a 120 shot fight for Sloater. So is it a factor? Yes. How big of a factor is? It's going to depend on how close they are. How quickly they get to that Croc item. Wouldn't it be funny if it was speed and ice in Croc? Of course, we'll never know, because if the first one's speed or ice, they're not going to check in the second one.
Oh, Sloaters ran out of super missiles on that gate glitch, so he's gonna have to go the slightly slower way.
That's interesting. If he was going for the gate glitch, that says he's going to Sandpit. That might maybe that changes his mind, and he doesn't do that.
He also needs a super missile to actually get out.
He still needs one.
Luckily, there's a nice little bug friend who will give you one.
Okay, so which way are you going, Sloaters? You going up to Sandpit? You going down to Croc?
He's going up.
Oh, he's going up. Oh, that's. They might get to Croc at the same time now.
Ossie is definitely in the lead in this case.
He has to. I mean, all he has left is Croc. He has nothing else.
Yeah, definitely an interesting seed. You know, both the runners end up exhausting all of their potential item options. I guess Sloaters didn't check gravity, but still. Basically,
that's another one. Sloaters, please don't go. Wait, what's he doing? Oh,
super missile.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. That's rough.
He forgot he needed another one to open the door.
Yeah, oh, my God. He already opened it, Sloaters. He's going to get the super missile. He's going to open the blue door with the super missile. Now, to be fair, we've all done that.
Oh, he hasn't opened the door yet.
Oh, he hasn't. You're right. Right, because he went straight up to wreck ship. Now I feel stupid.
Sometimes that's just what these seeds do to you. Trust me.
I know, right?
I think we both commentated our fair share of these.
Yeah, we sure have. But now we'll be equal on beams again, so he'll get that spazer. And we're gonna go into the end of this with probably the exact same item set, and with as many items as they've checked. A plasma beam or an ice beam would help them out a lot, and it's probably gonna be worth checking the Dragon item because there's just not that many more places that we might find those, or even whichever they don't get. Well, speed or ice are gonna get, whichever one they don't get, being possibly a Dragon.
In a world where they check both Croc items, and the items left that they have to check are, well, I mean, Botuni tank they'll check automatically, and then there's base jump, waterway, and plasma beam, I believe.
And two of those, and at this point we don't care about Wreck Ship Reserve really, but yeah. So the odds of them getting, the other of ice or speed and plasma beam are enough that it's definitely at least worth checking Dragon. It's definitely not worth going to any of those other locations.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if the runners decide to check space jump though, because remember, they've both made they've covered a lot of ground.
There it is. Oh no, Sloaters, he's going back to gravity.
Going back to gravity here.
Oh, he just doesn't want to go to Crocomire. And meanwhile, Osse's in go mode. So yeah, I hate to say it. I just feel like this is it. This is GG for Osse. He's gonna He's gonna go up to Dragon. He's got gonna, he'll see if he can get something else nice. But Sloater's sealing his fate, and once again needing a super.
He had a super missile, but he
did. Yeah, sometimes it's harder to get those gates from the correct side than it is to get them from the wrong side. So.
You're gonna see him.
We've all missed that shot.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a clip of Aster missing like 4 and then getting stuck because of it.
I was gonna say, was that an RBO run? Because I seem to remember something like that.
It might have been an RBO run. I don't remember. It was definitely suitless either way. Well, there's some super missiles for Osse.
Nice extra pickup.
I wonder if we see him turn off Spacer Beam and do X Factor strats on the bosses.
He could. He could also use Grapple Beam on Dragon if he wants to. He's got choice. He's got a lot of choices for Dragon.
Yeah, what I was kind of touching on, both of the runners probably feel like they're behind here.
Oh, for sure.
Because they've checked everything and nothing came up speed until Crocomire. Maybe Osse's banking on the fact actually that Sloaters he just doesn't check Crocomire. Like Sloaters just doesn't do it.
He does not like Croc.
Maybe Osse thinks that like even then he checked everything before he went to Crocomire as well. So
yeah,
he probably still.
I mean, they both last location Croc. The problem is Osse just did it a little more efficiently.
There's that Spacer Beam turned off. Going to be using some X Factors on at least one of the bosses.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, the bots with X Factors are super effective. So yeah, no surprise he would do it there.
Sloaters is about to be very sad. Not only that he came back for this item, but that it wasn't the item. Use the nice new X Factor strat. That's like a year old now, I think.
At least. Sometimes we continue to use the word new. Like I continue to hear people say Moonfall is new. That's like 3-year-old tech. That's not new anymore. What was that? E-Tank?
I think that was the last reserve tank.
Yeah, I don't think that was anything we want to pick up. It's hard to say as Osse went by it so fast.
Well, we'll get to see it on the way back.
And nice full halfie. Yeah, getting all the full halfies.
See if we go 4 for 4 with Sloaters, but at this point, I don't think there's going to be 6 for 6 because I believe this is going to be Osse's race to lose. Like I said, there are still things that can happen.
That's right.
Doesn't quite get the X Factor particles on that Rain Dance setup.
And now that I don't think Osse intended to get grabbed there, but now that he has, you might just switch to that grapple beam and go for the grapple kill.
Unfortunately, isn't going to do the quick grapple kill, but
yeah,
still going to be a fair fight. I think that's what happened to him last time, actually, because he was definitely lining up to do Shine Sparks. But always nice that he has that backup, and we'll see if he checks this item. But
I think you
like
do.
I said, he does.
Just the odds are pretty good that it's going to be something useful. And oh well. so Plasma and Ice Beam at Plasma and Waterway. So where else have we not seen? Because we don't have X-ray either. Wreckship Reserve. So Plasma, Ice Beam, X-ray at those 3 locations. And bombs.
Wait, where are bombs? Oh, the grapple. I never checked grapple.
Okay, yeah.
There's a few items, or a few locations, and they're all major items, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it still is like almost any of those items. So bombs just can make the extra items a little bit better.
Wait, okay, that was X-ray.
There you go.
From an E-Tank item, so
Okay.
There is still one reserve tank.
X-ray, I mean, well, we're not going to do stand-up, I don't think. So picking up X-ray doesn't do us any good. And you know, at this point, if you go back to some of the videos from 2017, you saw a lot of people messing up stand-up glitch. And then, of course, in 2018, GT Classic races in the multi-category tournament, there was a lot of messing up the stand-up glitch. And people still mess it up today, but I feel like overall, as a community, we've gotten a better understanding how to do that right. You just don't see it. You don't see the softboxing nearly as often. Now, that said, I mean, Chinese Zenny did it in the first Hundo qualifier, so it's not like it never happens. But my point being that I don't think you go out of your way to pick up that X-ray scope in this situation, and I don't think you go for, even if you did have the items for stand-up glitch here.
Yeah, I think the community as a whole has gotten better at performing strats that aren't necessarily rando exclusive, but definitely show up in randomizers more than they show up in vanilla categories.
Exactly.
Which is definitely a good thing to see. And Osse and Sloaters are both very good runners. I don't know if they'll even bother doing stand-up, but
I don't think so. I mean, this is such a weak beam for that. Maybe it saves a second or two.
Yeah, Osse is still running a sub-hour time after all of that, I think. Gonna be close. I don't know how much of it we're gonna get to see though, because this internet's having some difficulties.
Yeah, we're having some issues again.
And meanwhile, Sloaters has his speed booster after quite a marathon of trying. Is gonna go for the spike suit. Not gonna get it though.
Okay, we do get Osse back in time for Turian. And he has killed all the bosses, so we do get to go down.
Yeah, unfortunately, no ice beam does mean his Turian will be a little bit slow. See if he does this strat in Metroid Room 1, where you actually you lay the power bomb earlier at the Rinka spawner, and it'll actually damage all of the Metroids.
Yep.
He's not going to do it, but it does save a little bit of time, I believe. Maybe not as much time with a full movement loadout, but either way, Osse gonna be making quick work of the Metroids. He's got plenty of power bombs to work with. Oh, he's gonna do this one. Okay. The other thing is it'll actually make all the Metroids fly towards you because it activates all of them by doing damage to them. And with that, he's able to do Room 3 a little bit faster. Obviously, doesn't really do anything in Room 2 and 4, but, you know, those rooms aren't too slow anyways.
All right, we got everything we need for a baby skip, so I expect him to go for it.
It's not super comfortable without Spazer or Plasma, but it's definitely doable. Oh, he has Spazer. He doesn't have an equip yet, though.
Yeah, I think you're right. He never re-equipped it after the X Factors. Hopefully he remembers to turn it on before the fight, and it gives us the 87 shot fight instead of the 120 shot fight. You might even notice it when he goes and shoots it here.
Well, this looks like he's doing just fine without it. Gonna need to do a couple extra jumps, just one, and
looks like he got it.
Got it.
Looks like he's gonna take the refill anyway. It still saves time though to do the baby skip.
Yep, skips the cutscene where he's locked to the ground for a bit.
Exactly. Okay, can we get this 4 for 4? Let's go, Sloaters.
4 for 4, Wendy's Valley.
All right, let's go.
Doesn't have a super missile though.
Oh my god, Sloaters, please. This isn't gonna help him. Oh, he's just gonna reset the room, but yeah, of course that's all he's gonna do there, because you can't reset the room from here, because green door. But there is a energy refill behind there. For those of you that maybe don't know, that isn't going to help him any for this, unfortunately.
Well, he does get a super missile eventually. Also, Osse got that speed Zeb skip and got the use the grapple beam to get through the Zeb. So a nice little tech there. That's also fairly new. Is he going for X factors on
He is.
the brain? He hit 3 of them.
And not to be outdone by
Okay.
Zos, and not to be outdone by his own earlier race where he did actually do golden showers at one point. But having seen him do the golden showers, I was proctoring that race.
Yeah,
That was a lot more.
Hitting 3.
It was the golden showers were more effective, so I kind of wish he'd switch to that.
Well, maybe he will. Nah, he's just gonna turn his full beam on.
Okay, that's fair too. I mean, in this situation, there's only so much you want to do, or so many risks you want to take.
He did take a bit of damage though, but
Yeah,
he does have plenty of reserves.
Yeah, I don't know if he watched the Azure Zost race yesterday, but Zost in Game 2, when he did that, it almost cost him Game 2 because he got pretty low on health trying to do those X Factors.
Yeah, I did watch Game 3. I did not watch Game 2. Either way, he's doing a lot better now. Not taking too much unnecessary damage. Missing a few shots, but not going to matter all that much.
And we're already in catch-up, and for a lot of runners, and I find this too, the catch-up beams, I mean, even though they do a lot more damage, it's just easy to see when and where they're going to come.
Yeah, especially for runners who have run a lot of new route, run a lot of low percent. Not too hard to avoid those catch-up shots with full movement items, or at least high jump.
And he's through to Mother Brain, through to the cutscene, and he's just gonna have to wait. And he's probably I don't know where his monitor is, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's looking over and wanting to see, where is Sloaters? I mean, I got to that speed boost super late. Sloaters went to Croc. He's got to know that Sloaters is gonna maybe not last location, but not couldn't have gotten to it quickly because otherwise Sloaters would have been long done.
Yeah, I think even if you're somebody like Osse, who's very good, a favorite to win against most people, it's rough running against other favorites like Sloaters. Yep. Like you're always gonna go and thinking like, okay. Like even when you're at the end, you think, okay, I'm gonna get sniped. He's gonna do what I did, but he's just a little bit faster. It's definitely a mental thing. Mm-hmm. But fortunately for Osse, he is going to be pleasantly surprised when he dones in just a couple minutes. Or I guess not done. It would just click the button.
Yeah.
Man, all the SRL terms I can't use anymore.
I know, right? Well, don't worry. We'll bring them back for other tournaments.
Yeah, probably. I definitely think there is a not too distant future where SRL is just not used at all anymore.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't surprise me.
I will be honest, I won't miss it all that much. But there's a lot of things I've gotten used to saying that
we'll have to get used to not saying anymore, yeah.
I mean,
trust me, I've already messed up a few times on SRL versus race time, so.
Like, I imagine .done is something that people say for a long time after SRL is gone.
Well, you can still type .done in the race room. It's just that it's faster to click the button. All right, Osse in the escape. As Sloaters heading into Torian. So kind of the same difference as we saw last time.
Yeah, once again, Osse, I guess making the better route. It's hard to say.
Neither one was a good route. I mean, yeah, I understand not wanting to go to Croc, but if either runner had just gone straight to Croc after Lower Norfair, this is over like 20 minutes ago. Okay, maybe not 20 minutes ago, but 15 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only real questionable decision that Sloaters made, all things considered, was not checking Croc after Sandpit.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, going to that gravity.
Yeah, double going to wreck ship twice without like finding speed and having to go there twice is it's a feels bad at worst, and
Yeah, and the other thing I didn't like is that when he didn't do the sand pit into Shack Tool, I felt like then that you need to abandon that at that point because you're just losing so much time looping around again. And Osse does finish with an official race time of 59:08. So GG's to Osse. And Sloaters unfortunately get a forfeit this time. And you know, I don't blame him. He's been playing a lot today. Just had his any percent semi with Zost, and now this with Osse. And I mean, he's still a semifinalist, which does mean he finishes in the money in both those tournaments. So very nice runs for Osse. Very nice run for Sloaters in a couple of tournaments. So GG's to him as well.
Yeah, double semifinalist, definitely nothing to be ashamed of. I'm surprised he's not at least going for baby skip. Come on, show it to us. You can do it. He's not listening to the stream because there is no stream at the moment. But I would like to see him do it.
And we just need to get some invites, and hopefully we can bring these guys in for an interview.
Yeah, Osse moving on to the finals of the randomizer tournament. I would not call that particularly surprising. I think Osse's a very good runner.
Yeah, and we'll face off against the winner of Kip and Ashter, which I'm really excited for that race. It's a rematch of the Super Metroid Randomizer League finals from last January, and where they were very evenly matched. Ashter won 2-0. He won game 2 because he made a really nice call to go to Shack Tool to get, I want to say Variasuit. I'm not sure if it was, but I think it was Variasuit. Kip would have won game 1, but he took one of the most colossal chain damage deaths I've ever seen in Dragon. He was well ahead at the time, so it was a shame that series needed to go game 3, and we got it stolen from us by Dragon. So hopefully we can get a nice series between those two runners, and that'll be tomorrow. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting down to the wire, and all 3 of the Super Metroid tournaments going to be only 1 or 2 matches in all of them, I believe.
Yeah, tonight we have. It's your match tonight, is it not?
I believe it is. I'll be racing Thornito to reach the finals of the Double Anti-Bingo tournament.
And I do believe that is also going to be pre-recorded, so it may be that gets aired first or before this, or maybe it gets aired after this. I don't know. But we do have that coming. But
if it has aired, then don't tell me who won.
Okay. No spoilers here.
No spoilers. So we are just gonna wait a bit. I believe the invites have been sent by now.
Fiesel's indicated that he's sending them out, so that means they should be out already.
We'll see if
neither runner has indicated that they're not coming in. So I know Osse does have a SMZ3 match coming up. Also, actually, I'm not sure if that one's going to be pre-recorded or live. I'll be calling that one as well. Joining me will be Apathy Duck, so I'm looking forward to that. He'll be playing Niterific. That's also a semifinal match.
Osse's currently not at his desk, so I assume he's just getting water, using the facilities, doing whatever. And we can't see Sloater's cam, so it's possible he's doing the same thing. Osse101 in the racetime.gg chat says 2. What does this mean?
I hear... Oh, Sloaters is here. And looks like Osse is also going to be here shortly. Okay, we have both our runners with us, Osse and Sloaters. GG's, Osse. And for you, Sloaters, congratulations Semifinals in 2 tournaments, so definitely a good run for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about this last seed, the search for speed, and who knows where Ice was. Were either of you thinking of any sort of crystal flash clip? Asi, I know you can do it, but I also know you prefer to have bombs to do it.
Yeah, so there's the bomb version and the no bomb version. No bombs, you don't need anything at all, just get there and the ammo. But that is really inconsistent. Like if I had 30 tries, I might go for it, but I didn't want to spend the time on that. So I needed either bombs or speed or ice to get through.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same way. I would really never want to do the bombless version in a race. Even if I had like 30 tries, it's super inconsistent for me. So yeah, I would have been totally comfortable just finding bombs, if I didn't find ice or speed.
And of course, you're in sloaters, you missed that, and we thought this might turn into an advantage for you for a little bit because you missed that power bomb pack in the so-called Ron Pope missiles at the early supers area. Osse picked that up, but there was nothing in any of those locations, so you end up gaining time instead of losing time, so long as you could have skipped that area. But it was unfortunate that once the search for speed, ice, bombs came up, you end up going back that area.
Yeah, I thought about that, and that sloaters could have potentially missed that, or just been slow about it, I guess. But then I also had memories of one of his earlier races with MM2, was it? Where he didn't have power bombs.
Yeah, I actually forgot to check the awakening missiles.
Yeah, we thought that was the case.
Yeah, as soon as I got on the elevator, and the whole time I'm thinking like, man, those are probably power bombs, and this might be like really bad.
Yeah, that was. I mean, they were supers. I think it was whichever you didn't have in terms of the projectile ammo.
Oh,
yeah, it was supers because you had to look at vanilla loadout for getting down into Norfair. Sorry, not Norfair, into Brinstar.
Yeah, I was having trouble doing that run, whatever missiles with the high jump boots on, and I kind of figured the way it was going so far that it probably wasn't going to be a power bomb. I didn't feel like doing the pauses to take off high jumps. I just said screw it. I mean, not screw it, because obviously I didn't screw the block, but
yep.
Yeah, it's tricky with high jump. I got lucky early.
But yeah, otherwise, you basically the only real difference in the routing was that. So of course, sloaters you end up doing Kraid after Ridley, and Osse, of course, did Kraid before Ridley. So you had actually we were speculating that it would end up being a RKDP, but I guess it ended up being an RKPD. Not really common.
Yeah, I can't say other than like maybe with Boss Rando. That's probably the first time I've done Ridley first, which is really strange.
Yeah, it happens, but it's pretty uncommon.
It's more of a Varia randomizer thing to get locked on power bombs and then get your first pack in Norfair.
Yeah, that can happen.
So then, if you happen to have both suits, like we did in this seed, then you can go down to Ridley.
Okay. So Osse, you are going to be facing either Kip or Azure. What are your thoughts?
I guess a strong execution opponent feels scarier. So I'm glad to have gotten past Sloaters here, who I think is a little better than me. But then up against Kip and Azure, I think that's more of a routing battle.
Okay.
We'll just see how, where the items fall.
Yeah, and if Azure wins, we could get a all SMZ3 final here, which would be an interesting one. But Kip has something to say about that, I'm sure.
Yep, it's not an easy thing to get past Kip.
No, not at all. That'll be another really good race.
Yeah, I guess coming into this match, I was thinking about all the SM rando experience that Sloater has, unlike me.
Hmm.
I do a lot of the combo randomizer, but Sloater's has done a lot more of League and SM Rat, and also the other versions in the weeklies.
Hmm.
So I think I was at a disadvantage coming into this. Is how I felt.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
definitely performed very well for yourself. Making it to the finals and all.
Yeah.
And,
And of course, you have the SMZ3 semi tonight, so also good luck in that. I'll be commentating that as well, and yeah, so that should be a fun one. And I guess I think that's also going to be pre-record. So
Yeah, it's nice to get a couple restreams of my races going.
oh yeah, so I got one more for you. I can't let this go. So I proctored your race where you did the golden shower strats on Mother Brain 2, and I thought that was actually pretty effective. So why go for the X Factors this time? I don't think that's as effective.
So the pause takes out a lot of the damage when you have charge beam already, and I just happened to be on a wave beam when I entered the fight.
Okay.
So Spazer special beam attack is faster damage per second, but wave beam is faster damage per power bomb. Or
Okay.
more. So that's what I found.
Mm-hmm.
And then also in this fight, I got beat up a whole lot while doing the X Factors, and that's something that happens while doing SBA Mother Brain.
Mm-hmm. It was cool you got to show that off a little bit. All right. Anything else either one of you want to add before we close this out?
I'll just say GG to Osse again. It's nice getting to race them in a tournament setting like this. Thank you, Tracy and Derp, for doing the commentary. I've had a lot of fun with the SG Live tournaments. I'm all done now with this one and all the rest of them, so it's been a really cool time. I'm glad I was able to participate this time around, so thank you, everyone.
Osse?
Yeah, and I'm happy to get to face Sloaters in a actual tournament 1v1 randomizer match. Our first meetup in Hundo tournament. But here's the payback.
All right. Well, congratulations, Osse, to getting to the finals. Congratulations to Sloaters for 2 semifinal finishes in both this tournament, Rando, and of course the Any Percent tournament. And this is going to do it for us. Don't know what's coming up next, but definitely going to be something good. I see there's quite a lot of stuff being pre-recorded tonight, so definitely something fun will be coming up next. I'd like to thank everybody involved. I'd like to thank SpeedGaming, Fiesel for setting us up, and of course my co-commentator Derp, and didn't shout him out enough, Cheaty Face for our tracker, best tracker in the business. Always helping us out when we need it and clicking those buttons behind the scenes so we know what items we have and don't have to worry about it ourselves. So big shout outs to him. Make sure you follow everyone, and I'll let you finish this out, Derp.
Well, thanks for watching, y'all. See you. I hope you're doing well whenever in the future you're seeing this. And we've already shouted out all the important people, so we'll see you eventually.